Welcome to House of Leo. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make these really pretty flower coasters using a 6mm hook and some cotton yarn. So let's get started. So I'm going to start by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bringing it back round to the first chain and creating a loop. Slip stitch that closed and chain 2. This chain 2 is going to count as your first stitch. You can do a magic ring instead if you prefer. I just personally don't like using those anymore. I've not had the best experience with those, so I'm going to continue to chain. So we have our chain 2, and we are now going to treble crochet, or double crochet in US terms, another 19 stitches into this ring. So we will have 20 stitches total. So treble crochet, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go all the way around until we have 20 total stitches. It's a tight squeeze, but they will fit. If you pause it now, we can catch up and get round to the end. Okay, so I've made it round to 20 stitches in the loop. This hole's quite large, but when you weave in your ends, you can tighten that up a bit. We're going to chain, I slip stitch closed into the first stitch. We're going to chain 2. And then we're going to treble crochet into the next stitch along. So our chain 2 counts as our first stitch. We have a treble crochet in the next stitch. We're going to chain 2, treble crochet or double crochet if you're in the US, into the next stitch. Treble, chain 2. So we're going to do this all the way around into every stitch. So it's treble, treble, chain 2, treble, treble, chain 2, all the way around. So treble, treble, oops, chain 2. Okay, so if you want to pause that now, I'm going to carry on round and we'll meet you back at the end there. So I've made it round to my last 2 trebles, so I need to chain 2 and then slip stitch into this first stitch here. And now I'm going to slip stitch again into this chain space, and that brings my crochet hook over to work into this chain space. So for this one, we're now going to chain 2. Again, this counts as our first stitch. Yarn over and go through and do a treble into the same chain space. Chain 2. And then we're going to do 2 more trebles into the same space. So you end up in each chain space, you will have 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles. So into the next chain space there. I apologise if I sound a little out of breath and a bit croaky. Been a bit poorly. I'm feeling better, so hopefully I'll be able to do some more videos. So that was 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles. Alright, so I'm going to go and carry on all the way round. 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles into each chain space. If you pause it now, we can catch up. when we get to the end. Okay, so we've made it round to the end again. I'm going to slip stitch closed into this last space, first stitch, sorry. And again, like before, I'm going to slip stitch into this chain space just to get my hook over to this space. So for this one, we're going to chain 2. Again, this is counts as our first stitch, and we're going to do 4 more into this chain space here. 3, 4, creating a total of 5 stitches if you count your chain. So you have 5 stitches all into that chain space. We're going to go into the stitch that is between the clusters of 2, and we're going to do a slip stitch. And then yarn over, and we're going to treble crochet back over into this next chain space. We're doing 5 into there. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then into this stitch here, I'm going to do a slip stitch, yarn over, and 5 more into the next chain space. Slip stitch into this one here. You can see it's starting to take shape. So continue on round. I'll meet you back here. Pause it now. And I'll see you when we get back there. Okay, so I've made it to my last slip stitch. I haven't closed yet. I'm going to snip it before I close. So we snip, pull the yarn through, thread your needle. Might need a slightly bigger needle, this yarn is quite thick. Let's see, yeah, that goes in. Okay, so we're going to do an invisible join. To do that, you take your tail end, you push it from the back to the front through your first stitch, push it through, and then you go back down into towards the back, the last stitch you did, pull that down through. Come on, don't be tricky. This yarn is quite thick and stiff, so there we are. And when you pull that down, as you can see, you can't really see where that stitch has gone. So now you just weave in your ends. I might do this off camera because this is quite hard yarn to thread. And with this one, I'm going to go around and pull that gap a bit tighter because it's quite a large hole. So I'm just going to pull that in by weaving it round, and I shall show you what that looks like when I'm done. So there we have it. I've weaved in my ends. I've pulled that a bit tighter. It's actually gone heart-shaped, which is quite cute. And there we have it, a really nice coaster. My mug is empty because I've drunk my coffee, but you get the idea. I've used cotton yarn for these because I don't want them to melt, because I do want to use them for hot drinks, but if you wanted to use other yarns, that's up to you. I shall link below the yarn I have used. It was with a 6mm hook. I think they're lovely. I hope you enjoyed making these with me. If you did and you want to send me a picture, please go to Instagram and tag me in a photo. I'd love to see what you made, what colours you used, what yarn you used. I just want to know what you're all up to, basically. So comment below if you enjoyed this, tag me in Instagram, hop over to my website. I have a blog and free patterns there. And I shall see you again soon in my next video. Thanks guys, have a great day.